One of the things I get asked most about is it safe to diffuse essential oils around pets? And so this was the subject of my latest live on Facebook. And so I thought I'd turn it into a podcast. So my name is Dr. Helene. I'm an emergency medicine doctor and a certified animal aromatherapy specialist. And I love to help people use essential oils with an integrative approach for both themselves and their pets. So if you like what you're listening to, do hit the follow button. Feel free to drop me any comments and questions and let me know what you want to learn about so I can carry on creating more content. I hope you enjoy the recording. Hey everyone, hey, I've got the, can you see, I've got the Bams there. He's got his little seat. He probably wants to be a bit nearer actually, but it's just how we're rolling today. So doing a little live on diffusing essential oils around pets, because it's something that I get asked an awful lot about. And there is certain things that are, we need to cover. There's certain safety things that need to be addressed. And just get the light right. And it's the essential oils are fantastic to diffuse around pets. They're very, very beneficial, but we do have certain little safety guides and modifications that we need to make when we're considering using essential oils with our pets or around them because we're using them ourselves. If you're joining live, please say hi. Let me know where you're joining from. Anyone in Manchester who is here, let me know. So my name is Dr. Helene. I'm an emergency medicine doctor and also a certified animal aromatherapy specialist. And I love to use an integrative approach for everything that we have to support our pets' health and also the health of us as well. So that includes essential oils, nutrition, exercise. Hello, Carol from Manchester. Lovely to see you here. And by using a really integrative approach, we can make sure that we're doing the best for ourselves and also our pets as well. So diffusing around animals. Who diffuses anyway? Who's got essential oils? Who uses them? Who diffuses? Because it's really, really beneficial, but it's really important that there is some things that we need to do. Now, first of all, you need to be diffusing the right kind of things. Now, if anyone is using the tea light holders, with the little tea light and you burn the oil, please don't do that. So first of all, when you heat an oil, you actually change its chemical structure. So you're actually not getting any benefits there whatsoever. I just realised I've not plugged my microphone in, so it might not be as good as sound. So I'm just going to plug that in. Sorry, Facebookers. Hopefully that's better. So when you're heating the oils, you're not getting the full. You're changing the chemical structure, so you won't be getting the full benefit. Okay, so that's the first thing to be really mindful of. The second thing is if you are just using those reed diffusers, you are diffusing basically it's too much. It can be too overwhelming for your pets as well. So our pet sense of smell is so much more powerful than ours. For example, dogs have 200 to 300 million scent receptors. We have 5 to 6 million, okay? And cows and horses have more than us, but less than dogs and cats. So we have to be really mindful. So when you're using just like the reed diffusers or anything with just just the pure oil, it can be very overwhelming for our pets and just too much. It's just too much of a sensory overload for them. So that you really need to be mindful of that. And what you actually want to be using is a water-based diffuser. So this is a diffuser that will have a water reservoir in it that you pop your oils in. And then it actually has a piezo chip at the bottom, okay? And what that does is when you turn it on, it actually vibrates and it causes everything to it's causing basically the water and the oil to vibrate and mix up. So you get this mist. I don't know if you can, where am I going? I don't know if you can see, you're probably too far away, but it causes this mist to come out and the particles stay suspended in the air. And obviously the oils are very dilute. And so that's the best way do it. And the great thing about this is you don't need as much oil. So in a typical diffuser, you're probably going to use between 5 and 6 drops of essential oil, and most of these diffusers will last about 12 hours. Now, the key thing is you need to use an intermittent setting. So the setting should have a 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, okay, for using that around your pets. And it's sort of quite good to use for yourself, and it means that it lasts longer as well. So any oils that are suspended, the oils that are suspended in the air, okay, obviously they will come down and they will land on your dogs or cats or rabbits' coats. So hello to people joining me. Hello there, Izzy and Apocalypse. I like that name. Will land on your animal's coats. Now, for pets that groom a lot, like cats and rabbits, they will actually be ingesting those oils. So that I'm going to be covering that in a little bit. So you need to be mindful of that. You also need to be mindful of if you are diffusing anything like some of the hot oils, it could be irritating to the eyes and things. So you want to be mindful of that. You also want to be mindful where you place your diffuser as well. So where I have mine in my lounge, it's actually over Inca's, not far from over, sort of kind of over Inca's crate. But then I only diffuse oils that I know she's going to like. And I'm very mindful about what she's got stuff covering her crate as well. So it's not just going straight in the crate. But what I actually find with my dogs is they tend to congregate in that area. But you want to be diffusing in a room and always have the door open so that they can actually leave the area. Okay, so that's really important. So the room that I'm diffusing in downstairs, it's very large, so they can actually go from the area where the diffuser is into another room if they want to. When I'm diffusing at night in my bedroom, I will only use 3 drops of oil because we're in a smaller space. The door might be shut, and I don't want them to be overwhelmed. So that's really important. Now, something else I do when I'm always, say, for example, diffusing a new oil, and I'm not going to cover self-selection or introducing oils to pets in this. This is just purely about diffusing. But what I do, which is really good practice, so say you've got a new oil, I would offer it with the lid on to your pet and check that they're not like running away from the room. Okay, because you only want to be diffusing an oil that they actually find okay. Now, they may be neutral about it, but if they're sort of literally, I know there was someone who was, her dog didn't like lemon, so she would never diffuse lemon because it would be too unpleasant for her. So it may be that the dog not necessarily wanting the oil, but they're neutral to it, and so that's fine. Because sometimes, when I've had ill dogs, I've diffused to support their immune system. So they won't necessarily want it, but I've done it and I know that oil doesn't make them uncomfortable. So that's really key. So always offer it. You want to check that they don't have any adverse reactions. The other thing you want to watch out for is that you're not diffusing any oils that are potentially toxic to your dog. So, or pets or cats or bunnies. So generally avoid anything with wintergreen in, anything with tea tree in, and anything with birch in. Okay, definite avoid there. Now, other ones to potentially be cautious around are the hot oils. So these are things like oregano, cinnamon and clove. Now, I do diffuse these, but they are in a blend with other oils. But you just need to be mindful because they can be irritant. So you want them very dilute. So maybe if you were diffusing something that had clove in, you would have, and you've got 6 drops, you would just put 1 drop of clove in, or perhaps you would make up your blend separately. So say you would have 1 drop of clove and 11 drops of whatever the other oils are, but you'd only use 6 drops of that mix, so you're essentially only getting a half drop of clove. So that's something else that you would do. And obviously you need to be very careful as well when you're diffusing around animals like rabbits or any of the ones that sort of are hind gut fermenters, because you can alter their microbiome. So if you're using oils that are particularly sensitive to the gut or supportive for the gut, you can actually cause a bit of a problem there. So you just need to be a little bit mindful about doing that as well. And if you've got any questions about using oils, do just drop them in the comments and I will come back. I've got couple of questions already. So you need to be mindful about that. The other thing that you need to consider is, so we've covered that. I'm just thinking I've just lost my train of thought. So sensitive oils. Oh yes, what we want to do. So remember, oils are great for relaxing us, for pepping us up, for all these different things. So do be mindful what you're diffusing. If you want your dog to be chilled while you're out at work, don't be diffusing something that's going to be particularly peppy. So one of the things I find, if I diffuse citrus oils while I'm at work, my dog Seren will kitchen raid. But if I don't diffuse the citrus oils, I can diffuse the citrus oils mixed in with something else. But if she has just citrus oils, I found there is a correlation with kitchen raiding. So, you know, it's all about sort of that, and they're great for sort of building up appetites and things like that, but I don't want that. So you just need to be a little bit mindful of that. Okay. Now, the other thing is you need to think about what oils you are diffusing. So not all oils are safe for pets, and this is really important. So the essential oil industry is one where there is it's not regulated at all, and an oil can have that it's pure, and actually it can have less than 10% oil in. And I think recent tests as well, they looked at loads of different peppermint oils, and 3/4 of those peppermint oils were actually not real peppermint. Okay, and so that's really important. And a lot of the oils that we have on the market are actually from the perfume industry, and all the perfume industry want is just the oils that provide the aroma. They're not interested in all the other constituents that make up the essential oil. Now, essential oils are great. They are nature's way of supporting the plant, defense against insects and things, and they are the synergy of their plant, the individual constituents within that oil. So for example, you have different constituents that make up, and they have a synergy. If you take out one of those constituents, because that's the one that provides the smell, you upset the balance, and it may mean that that particular constituent isn't actually safe on its own, but with all those other things it's absolutely fine. So if you look at a lot of oils, they'll often say not safe for topical use, and that's a typical example, is that because they can be irritant to the skin. Now it could be something like lavender. Now lavender is an amazing oil to use topically. It's got so many benefits. It's supportive to the skin, it's supportive to the immune system, the musculoskeletal system, it helps us relax, and all these great things. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, it's not just an aromatic oil. But the problem that you have is that if they've just taken off the constituent, say constituent A, that's all about the smell, okay, and they've left the other constituents, which we'll label B, okay, and they don't want those. The A may be too much. The A may be the thing that causes irritation on the skin when it's not held in check by all constituents B. So you need to be really mindful, and this is one of the problems. So essential oils are safe to use with pets when you are using proper essential oils. And a lot of the ones are just not safe that are on the market. So if you need any more information about that, if you want to have a safety guide or anything like that, just send me a little message or drop a comment, or and I will send you a little message. I'll send you a link to a safety guide for that. But they are absolutely fantastic to use for pets. And like I said, there are certain things that you need to be cautious of. And I know one of the questions I got was about diffusing around birds. Birds are very, very sensitive to oils, and they are absolutely fantastic to use, though. And I've got a friend who actually runs a bird sanctuary for birds of prey, and she does a lot of essential education around birds as well. So if you do want more information, particularly about birds, do let me know. And I know this particular question I had was about a parrot. So very, very safe. And the same rules apply. Water-based diffusion. Okay, so this is what you want. You want a water-based diffusion, okay, that vaporizes because of that piezo chip in there, and it causes this mist, okay. So you don't want anything with those reed diffusers. You don't want anything that's just a very concentrated form. Now the lava rock diffusers like this are absolutely fine, and you just put one drop on there, okay, so it's not overwhelming. But water-based diffusion is best. But I have used these, so they're very good for diffusing. When my cat Holly was poorly, she had this respiratory issue. She wasn't eating was the first thing I noticed, and she wasn't particularly snotty, and it wasn't until we actually went to the vet for a scope that he actually found that she was actually really congested. And so basically what I would do is I would put some an oil, a couple of oils on here, and literally have it by her food dish, and you would literally see her go, I need eat and eat. And I don't know if any of you, if you've got children, because this is something when I was doing a lot of in peds, a lot of the children, when they come in and they've got a snotty nose because they're not really understanding what's going on, they weren't eating because when they're all actually taking milk, because they're sucking on a bottle or a teat, they actually can't breathe at the same time. So they wouldn't be eating because it would stop them breathing. So little things like that can be really beneficial. Are you okay there, the Bams? Are you okay? Okay. Little Bambi just adding in his little 2 penneth there. So so useful. But yes, diffusion absolutely fine around birds, but again the same safety rule applies. Make sure you're using pure oils and stay clear of things like the hot oils, and be cautious around the hot oils, and stay clear of things like tea tree, wintergreen, and birch. But essential oils, so beneficial. If you've got any questions, pop them below, because they are so many uses. So they're not just all about anxiety and calming. You're right, you need calming. I know I'm diffusing citrus oils, probably the wrong choice for the Bams. But really good. So if you've got a dog or a pet that's anxious, we're coming up to fireworks night, aren't we? So these are absolutely great to be diffusing. And when you introduce your animal to oils for calmness, you always want to do it in a calm environment. So always introduce the oils to them first. Now, if you are using pure essential oils, you are going to be getting the therapeutic benefits as well, but you can't divorce that from the smell. So if you first introduce an oil to a pet, when something scary is happening, although it may help to calm them down, they are going to develop that odor memory. I'm going to just bring the Bams up here. Come here. You're going to come up. You're going to sit on my lap. Okay. You can't divorce the oil, the aroma, from the therapeutic benefits. Okay, so even though it might make your dog calm, when they first smell it, they will start to be agitated. So you're not setting off on the right foot or paw. Should we use the word paw? Okay. So always introduce the oils to your pet in a calm environment first, especially when you're trying to support them when they're anxious. Other things you can do with oils that are so great is, as I said, it can support their respiratory system by helping them open up their airways. You might want to encourage their appetite. One of my dogs was very ill a few weeks ago, and I was very worried it was infected. We didn't know what it was, so I was diffusing oils around the home that were supportive of the immune system, so that no one else would get sick. I wanted to protect them and do what I could to support their immune system. So I was using oils that are very good for that, guarding against environmental threats and things like that. The other thing is you might want to pep them up. They might want to support their dog training. So I use oils a lot in my dog training to help for focus. One of my dogs has been getting quite anxious recently when he's been going out running. So we've tied his excitement of going out with an aroma, so that when we at events, I get the oil out and I start using it on him, and his odor memory is then lifting him to those episodes when he's really excited. And then along with that, I'm using oils to help him focus. You see Bambi, look at him, he's just so cute. To help him focus so we can concentrate on different behavior modifications that we're using to help decrease his anxiety and increase his calmness as well. Also great for using cleaning. If anyone's I don't know, we've had code brown incidents or things like that, for diffusing the air, getting rid of noxious smells. Absolutely beautiful, and so much better than using harsh chemicals. And it is quite funny, because I think nobody ever thinks about the pets when they start using air fresheners or sprays on the clothes or anything, but everyone's like, oh, but you mustn't diffuse essential oils around your pets. But in actual fact, it is really safe when done properly, and actually far less cause for concern than using some of these other things, these sprays and things. So there is our homes are 2 to 5 times more polluted than the air outside, and a lot of that has to do with what we're using to clean. Can anyone, I'm just laughing because can you see Bambi? He's just absolutely, look at him, he's just absolutely, so my paraplegic dog from Romania, he is just blissed out. Oh, you are so gorgeous. You know what, he's funny. Oh, sorry, I woke him up. He's really funny because I was just up here doing stuff. Oh, hi Jim, how are you? I was just up here doing stuff and he didn't even make a sound. He was downstairs, he was absolutely fine. And then the minute I started to get everything ready for the live, he is listening intently, he is get everything ready for the live, and it's like he knew. He started to cry. He's such a little fame junkie, aren't you? Just lie down. Now I've lost my train of thought, Bambi. Where was I? Yes, so much more beneficial. And you're not, you know, there's been a massive rise in allergies in the last few decades, and it's no coincidence that it's coming when we're eating more processed food. We've got more of these cleaning products. We're seeing more and more people with really bad eczema, poor gut health and things like that. So what we need to do is we need to be going back to basics, and essential oils are such a worthwhile way to do that, because they are just the natural oils from the plant. They're not adulterated in some way, and that is what you want when you are looking to get essential oils. You want the very purest, so that you know they are safe for your pets. Hope that has answered everyone's questions. If you would like to know more about using essential oils with your pets, do drop a comment. I've got safety guides, I've got blogs, I can answer your questions as well if you've got any more questions. So I've got to try and stop my lives. Do hit the follow button. If you're watching on TikTok, the follow button is just up there. If you're watching on Facebook, that's my, oh, it's that way. It's that way. It's the other way. That way. It's there at Who Paws Wins. So my name is Dr. Helene. This is Bambi. And I hope you have a beautiful evening. Stay safe. Stay well. Bye.